heating and cooling curves. Curves mean graph that is drawn between two variables. So interconversion of physical states can be understood with the help of graph that is drawn between the internal energy and the temperature of a system. Such a graph is called heating or cooling curve. Figure shows the curve when substance is heated or cooled. When a substance at a point A is heated, its temperature increases. So suppose we have a substance in solid form and we have heated, we have increased its temperature, then its temperature is being increased from point A to point B. On x-axis we have shown internal energy which is increasing from left to right, and on y-axis we have temperature which is increasing from bottom to top. So when substance is heated, its temperature increases. On attaining a specific temperature, it melts. From point B, it has started melting. Further heating from point B to C does not cause change in temperature. And you can see here that there is no change in temperature. Temperature is same. When the temperature is changed from point C to D, then again there is increase in temperature between these two points until we reach this point D, and this point is the boiling point of the liquid, and at this temperature starts converting from liquid state to the gas state. Again, when we are increasing temperature, we are increasing heat from point D to E, then there is no change in temperature. All of the heat provided is being used to convert this liquid to the gas phase, and there is no change that is in the states. Graph from A to F is called, from this A to F point is called the heating curve, because in this case temperature is being increased from A to F point. Same thing we can see from in reverse direction from F to A, and it will be called the cooling curve. Cooling curve, because in this case temperature is being decreased and substance will be converted from vapor phase to the solid phase. So from this point it will be converting from vapor phase to the liquid phase, and this will be called condensation. And from point D to C, again temperature will be decreased, and in between the points C and B, this liquid will be converting from the liquid to solid state, and it will be called the freezing point. And after this temperature, it will exist only in the solid state. So this curve will be the cooling curve. So in this graph, both curves have been shown. One is the heating curve and other is the cooling curve. We can also draw these two curves separate. Now we will read this topic so that we can understand all the points. So when a solid substance at point A is heated, this temperature increases. On attaining specific temperature, it melts as shown at the point B in the figure. This point represents melting point of given solid. Further heating does not increase temperature because heat provided here is being utilized to melt the solid substance as represented by the line B to C. So there is no change in temperature. When the all the liquid convert into liquid, the temperature start rising again as shown in the graph for the points C to D. At the temperature corresponding to the point D, the liquid starts boiling. This represents the boiling point of liquid. Again, further heating does not increase the temperature till the whole liquid is converted into gas. A to D and a line D to E in the figure shows no further rise in temperature. The temperature again a line D to E in the figure shows no further rise in temperature. The temperature again start rising after the point E. This curve represented by the step from A to F. So from A to F is the heating curve. The same graph in figure can be studied in reverse direction from point F to A. From point F to A is called the cooling curve. When the gas is present at point F, it's cooled, its temperature start decreasing. At point E, it start converting into liquid. And this is the phase change, first phase change. This is called the condensation point or liquefaction point, and it represents the same temperature as the boiling point. The temperature will however remain constant during this process of condensation or liquefaction. Further cooling will convert liquid into solid at point C, which is called the freezing point, and it represents the same temperature as the melting point. So that is the important point to note, that melting point and the freezing point, they are the same temperature. The line C to B shows that the process of cooling is converting all the liquid into solid states at constant. The line C to B shows that the process of cooling is converting all the liquid into solid state at constant temperature. For water, a heating curve will show the rise of temperature of ice until it reaches at 0 degrees Celsius, that is melting point. Then it remains constant while ice melt into liquid water. Further heating will increase the temperature until it reaches 100 degrees Celsius, that is boiling point. At this point, it remains constant while liquid water is converted into steam. So, a cooling curve A cooling curve will show the temperature of steam decreasing until it reaches 100 degrees Celsius. Then it remains constant while the steam condenses into liquid water. The temperature decreases again until it reaches 0 degrees Celsius. Finally, it remains constant while the liquid water changes to ice. Line B to C and D to E shows that their given energy is being utilized to change the phase from solid to liquid and from liquid to gas respectively. In this diagram, you can clearly understand the heating and cooling curve for water. So in case of water, ice melts to produce liquid water when temperature is increased from minus to 0 degrees Celsius, and after 0 degrees Celsius temperature is if temperature is being increased, it will start boiling at 100 degrees Celsius, and this temperature will be called the uh, boiling point. And gas, in the gas form, water vapors can be converted into liquid. This process is called condensation, and this liquid water can be freezed to produce the solid state, and this is called the solidification. And these two processes which are shown here with blue arrows are happen with the heat released, and vapors can be converted directly into solid, and this process is called deposition, and heat is again released in this process. Now let's see the heating curve and cooling curve. These two are drawn separately to clear the topic. So as first of all, let's see the heating curve. In heating curve, when temperature is increased from -20 as is shown here, it will start melting at point B, and this temperature is 0 degrees Celsius, and it is also called the melting point. And from B to C there is no change in temperature, because at this point this solid is being converted into liquid. When all the solid is converted into liquid water, then again we can observe the change in temperature from point C to D until we reach the point D, and this temperature is 100 degrees Celsius, which is called the boiling point. And at this temperature it will start converting into vapors, and there will be no change in temperature until we reach the point E. And after that the heat provided is being converted, being saved in the vapors in the form of latent heat of vaporization. So it is the heating curve. And let's see the cooling curve. Cooling curve is the reverse of heating curve. If we have water vapors and we decrease the temperature, with the decrease in temperature its condensation will start at 100 degrees Celsius, and at this temperature vapors will start converting into water, liquid water. And from point C to D we can observe the change in temperature, that is temperature is being lowered and cooling is observed until we reach the point D, that is called the freezing point. At this temperature, this liquid water is start converting into solid ice, and there will be no change in temperature from point D to E. And after E, again there will be decrease in temperature. So that is the cooling curve for the water. At the end, we will solve the quick check. So question number 1, why do water vapors at 100 degrees Celsius cause more severe burns as compared to liquid water? And the answer is steam contains significantly more thermal energy than liquid water at 100 degrees Celsius, which is called the latent heat of vaporization. And this heat of vaporization is about 2260 kilojoule per kilogram, and it releases all of its extra energy directly onto your skin when it condenses. So that will cause more severe burns due to large amount of heat that it has. Second question, why do we feel comfortable wearing cotton cloths in summer? And the answer is we feel comfortable wearing cotton cloths in summer because cotton absorbs heat and help cool our body. Water absorbs heat and help cool our body through evaporation. During this process, our body produces sweat in hot weather to keep us cool. Cotton is a good absorber of water, so it quickly absorbs sweat from our skin. The absorbed sweat spreads over the cotton fibers and evaporates easily into air. During evaporation, sweat require latent heat of vaporization. This heat is taken from our body, causing our skin to lose heat and become cooler.